what you made me do. Look what I made for you.
His name is
Old man Wade. I live by the funk. I die by the funk. Old man Wade. Old man.
I'm about to do something terrible.
Old man Wade. Old man. Old man.
Nope, not doing this. We're not doing this.
Ha ha. Point. Old man. Old man. Old man. Old man. So I was actually having a conversation with some friends a couple of days ago, maybe a couple of weeks ago. I can't remember. My memory's trash. And we were talking about like just emotions and stuff like that. And I was talking about crying. And I brought up The Greatest Showman. And he was like, "You cry?" I was like, I started bawling out the beginning of The Greatest Showman just because it was a little kid who wanted to visualize his dream, and I was just tear jerking. Then the movie ended, and I looked up the guy, and I was like, "Oh, never mind."
Yeah. I haven't been able to watch the movie because I knew his background before. It's like, oh, I like Hugh Jackman, but I don't want to glamorize that crap.
Nah, it's so sad because it's got Hugh Jackman.
It has good music too.
Oh yeah, Zac Efron.
Yes.
And Zendaya, and I'm like, and I think Zac Efron is incredibly underrated with the things that he does. Like he can sing, he can dance, he can act, but he's also a Disney kid, so you know.
You know what? I saw an amazing YouTube video. I want to say it was Nerdstalgic, but they were talking about how Zac Efron was able to leave his Disney image and go to what he's doing now so successfully by the movie Neighbors, because it's basically this High School Music, like the High School Musical character in college. And it just slowly transitions him into being a more adult and kind of a dick role.
Is that the
that
one with
people?
Seth Rogen?
Yes. Yeah. It's a good movie. After I watched that YouTube video, I'm like, I need to watch that movie again. And it's funny.
It really is.
Dave Franco's brother's in it. Or is it Dave? Yeah.
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 No, it is Dave Franco.
That is I don't like his brother.
his brother's the creep.
Yeah, that guy. Fuck that guy. Dave Franco's great. Perfect impersonation of Robert De Niro.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
So welcome to the Old Man Wade Show. I am your host, the God of Stub and the Lord of Laughter, Old Man Wade, and I'm here back again, I think for the third or fourth time with the Red Dot.
Woo, yay me. I'm not sure what time it is or which one it is. It's not enough. I'll say that.
I freaking love these things. I've been kind of like dialing back when I record because like if I don't really have much to say, then it's like, I'm not going to just record some nonsense just for the sake of nonsense. Mm-hmm. But I'm currently out of work because my wife broke her arm. She broke her arm at a bachelorette party for her niece in Provincetown during Pride Parade. And here's the worst part about it: she was completely sober.
Oh, how?
Just fell. Like she had some issues and she kind of just fell. And
oh fuck. I'm sorry, is she okay?
Oh, she's not okay, but she's ahead of schedule, which is the best part about it.
Oh good. Okay.
So I've been home with her, kind of like, so I take the dog out, I do all the stuff that she can't do. And so I was like, you know what? I have time. I know who I'm going to contact. I'm going to contact Kim.
Hell yeah. I don't do shit.
You don't do shit. You literally have to create every day. That is not an easy task.
They don't always work out like yesterday's. Yesterday's was awful.
I'm mad I missed it because I went and I saw the post like when you delete a comic that doesn't do well. I'm like, God damn it, I missed it.
Oh, it wasn't good. It was like a play on words, but also a pun and about parasocial relationships. And it was bad. Like within the first 20 minutes, I can tell if a post is going to do okay or if it's going to do really well or really bad. That was probably one of the worst ones I've had in over a year.
I have noticed. I run my the comic book shop that I run for. I the comic book site I write for. I run their Instagram page,
Mhm.
And just for those people who don't know, you can find the red dot at literally the_red dot.
Double underscore.
Double underscore. My apologies.
I'm
The
extra.
double underscore REDDOT. And what I've noticed is there is really no rhyme or reason to the algorithm. And I feel like we had this conversation before, but it's almost like it's gotten worse now.
Yeah.
Like,
It definitely has. Like there's certain accounts I'll keep tabs on, just like colleague wise, and they'll be gaining followers, but their engagement plummets to like 2-3%. So they're only getting maybe 5-10 comments, but they have over 900,000 followers, because they're constantly posting to grow, and they're posting reels, and it hurts the audience base. So it's like, which one do you want? Do you want to grow, or do you want to develop an audience? Like, it's hard, and there really isn't any reason on it. I don't have better words.
no, but I honestly understand. But I understand all of that because, like, I'll post, for example, I post a comic about Spider-Man and Kamala Khan.
Mhm.
Super sweet, super great. I ended up having to cut the comments off because people are, disgusting. And
Yeah.
the post still did well. I was like, oh, okay, so maybe it's a Spider-Man thing. So then I'll post something with Spider-Man, and then it'll do nothing. I'm like, okay. And then I'll get nothing. Well, I shouldn't say nothing. I get relatively nothing for the next week. And then the week
Mhm.
after that, it'll do great. And I'm like, what? And I'm like, maybe I'm not hashtagging it right. Maybe it's not the right times, but it's just trying to figure it out.
Hashtags don't mean shit anymore because they got rid of the recent tab.
Really?
And yeah, so when you look up a hashtag now, it will say top posts or recent top posts. It won't say just recent. So like it won't show up if you use it and posted like 2 minutes ago. And now this is Reddit talking, so I have no idea if it's true, but a lot of people were saying they had to stop it because there was a problem with CP and abuse images coming up, and they were using special hashtags and shit like that. And I don't think that's excuse me, out of the realm of possibility, but I also don't know if it's true. But they did take that off, and once they took it off, everyone started feeling it. I don't use hashtags anymore personally to look at shit because the top posts are sometimes from months ago. Like I don't want to see months ago. I want to see the past week.
Yeah. And that's the other thing. Like I'll post something, like something did poorly one week, and then like a month later, it's getting gangbusters. I'm like, it's not even trending in the world. Why is this a thing now? But I'm like, you know what? If it gets engagements, it gets engagements.
Yeah.
However, to your point, if I've noticed the more I post, the less engagement. But if I post like I talked to Maria's niece who's
Mhm.
younger than me, and she was saying the best time to post is like the stereotypical hours 9 to 5. So like usually if I'm leaving work at 7, I'll post one because people are getting up, checking their phones. And then I'll post again before I go to bed, like for work. And then I'll post again around 8 o'clock ish, just because that's when people are winding down. But then that stopped working. So I was like, I give up. I'm just gonna keep posting, and what works will work.
When they had it in the chronological order, that was best. And it's still pretty good. Like how I post is you got to think about it. Like when I have the benefit of being on the West Coast because you guys are already up on the East Coast. So 6 a.m. my time, people are getting up, looking at their phone, checking notifications. 9 a.m. for you, you're getting at work if you have the 9 to 5, and you're procrastinating what you have to do today. So you're on your phone. Then 12 o'clock your time, 9 a.m. my time, you're on lunch break. I'm
Yeah.
at work now. So that's usually how I try to do it. Like I post between 12 and 1:30 just because now that I'm doing it daily, I've been a little bit more picky about how I'm drawing and posting later. But anything after 1:30 Pacific Standard Time, just fuck it, because everyone gets time to themselves. Like you're getting off work or you don't have your lunch break anymore and your social time is more important, so people aren't on their phones. So it really is a mixed bag, because I don't pretend that I know what I'm doing anymore. I've just followed what's been working.
And then I find out that people don't like, now reels aren't a thing anymore. I'm like, I give up. I don't give up, because I'm gonna keep following the trend, just because, like, it helps me get an extra $100 a month just for like stuff that I would be doing anyway. But it is so weird.
It is weird. I haven't, like, TikTok, I've been at like the same number for 6 months, 7 months. I haven't tried, just because I don't know. Like, to me it feels like the hierarchy of popularity. Sure, you can have 1 million followers on TikTok and be big on TikTok, but then you go to any other platform like Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, you don't mean shit. So I don't necessarily want to be just big on TikTok, because that doesn't necessarily translate as well as the other platforms do.
I was actually looking. Are you still the same thing? The __REDDOT on TikTok as well?
Yeah.
Okay, that was just, I have you on. I just couldn't find you. But just for people who are on TikTok. So
Yeah, go ahead and make me popular. Then my tune might change.
cartoons. I see what you
Yeah.
did there. So this was so I initially had a plan, but I also asked you if there was something that you wanted to discuss, and it was a conversation that's kind of near and dear to my heart, because I'm very weird about religion, and I am as I like to say, agnostic as fuck. But I asked if there was something you want to talk to, and you brought up religious guilt when celebrating Halloween.
Yeah. On the news the other day, because I'm an old person and I only listen to AM radio when I drive. I can't stand Ryan Seacrest. He's all over the fucking place here in LA and I hate him. So AM news it is. But they were talking, God, Ryan Seacrest, please don't kill me. They were talking about how it went from 60% of adults will be celebrating Halloween this year, or 60-70%, versus 5 years ago it was only like 48, which I thought was so weird, because I've always celebrated Halloween. And then I was thinking, okay, outside of it being a children's holiday, quote unquote, there is always like the religious side of, oh, this is devil holiday, this is Satan, you're turning your back to the Lord. And it just kind of got me thinking about growing up. My mom would hand out Christian tracts when we handed out candy, because that was her.
What are Christian tracts? I meant to ask you that.
Oh, so basically like little pamphlets that say, do you accept the word of God? Is Jesus in your heart? Or you could get the really fucked up ones where it's literally comics, and they're awful because it's a comic book. It is a comic about like people going to hell and people sinning, and it gets really not gruesome, but like just scary. And it kind of it pushes you in the way of going to church. But my mom used to hand out like, have you accepted Jesus in your heart, when we handed out candy after going through a haunted maze my dad had set up with like dead bodies. And it's just I just thought it was so funny. That was how she reconciled everything together.
When I was in church, and I was heavy in the church for most of my high school years, and I wasn't heavy in the church after high school, but I went every so often. And then as I got older, I had a bit of a confrontation with my uncle, who was a pastor of a church, and that kind of turned me off from religion.
Mm-hmm.
But it also kind of opened my mind to a lot of things, because my little brother is gay. Well, he does. I'm not sure if he identifies as gay. We've had conversations recently, and I believe he said he was thinking more fluid. He's, just thinking about their gender, and it's cool.
Mm-hmm.
But I remember in the Baptist church, it's like, it's Adam and Eve, not Adam and Steve, and all that other bullshit.
Oh yeah.
And I started taking offense to it because it's like, one scripture I remember more than anything else is judge not and ye shall not be judged. I'm pretty sure God doesn't care who we're fucking. That's just me. But then there's Old Testament God, you know what I mean, who'll kill you for wearing like linens and cotton on a Friday or something like that. But that's neither here nor there. And I remember one particular time, it's like one of the few times I missed Halloween, it was like, oh, come to church instead of going trick or treating, and I did it once, and I was like, I'm never doing this shit again.
Harvest party, something like that.
Yes, I think that's exactly what it was called.
Yep. Like we used to go to church every Wednesday and Sunday. Wednesday was Bible school night, and then like my mom volunteered. Like we were really into church stuff. And what gets me is like the base of Halloween is kids going around getting candy. But if you think about it, it's more charitable than fucking Christmas because you're just giving to strangers. You don't expect anything back. It's not an exchange. You don't give a gift to get a gift. You are just literally giving to your community so they can have a good time. And like whenever people try to come at me for it, because I am not religious, I don't know if I'm agnostic or atheist. I don't know. But whenever they're like, oh, devil worship for Halloween, because I made a thing about me making a comic and it was a pseudo pentagram for whatever. But it's just like, oh, I'm just giving to kids. Like I'm just being nice to the neighborhood kids. How is that devil worship? Yeah, it's simple as that.
I'm spending my money and then just giving it away. Here you go.
Yeah. So some kids can feel good about themselves, like getting to walk around in their favorite like costumes, being their heroes or whatever. Just because there's some macabre to it doesn't mean I'm a Satanist. It's I just think it's interesting that people have to, I keep saying reconcile, but I think that's the best way to say it, to reconcile their religion with something very secular. It's pagan at the very base of it. It's just old school changing of the seasons.
Yeah, and then if you want to take it a step further, or I don't know which one came first, but the Day of the Dead in Mexico, I don't know if it predates paganism or not, but there's also that, and it's not necessarily a worship about Satan; it's a remembrance of the people who have died.
I love that so much. Like Coco changed my fucking life. Like
I missed the first. I tell you this one. I come home and Maria's watching it. Yeah, I missed the first half of the movie. I still ended up tearing up, and I sat and watched the second half, and I still ended up tearing up.
Oh, like I'm not going to say we're making a ofrenda because I'm not of like Hispanic heritage, but I am totally putting up pictures of my loved ones and then putting little baubles that I feel like they would like. That's just such a sweet thing to fucking do, you know? And to hope that they like their memory can come and see you on a night. How is that bad? If we're going to say there's a holy fucking ghost, why can't my holy fucking sister say hello once a year?
Oh my God. The idea, for the love of Odin, the idea of, oh my God, I can actually say this now because I'm recording. I said to I was talking, it was me, Maria, my buddy Javi. We were talking about religion, and I said, you know what? Religion ain't nothing but the original plagiarism. That's all it is. One religion takes from whatever the first origin or whatever the first religion was. Someone was like, I like that, but I'm going to take that and I'm going to change the words around. And that's all it is. Every single one of them say the exact same thing. Even like the Satanist Bible is pretty much just like, hey, just leave everybody the fuck alone. Have fun. Just don't fuck with anybody else. It's all the same shit.
It really is. There is a small difference just so like no one comes after you. The Satanic Temple is the good one. That's like, you do you don't hurt anyone else. And then there's the Satanic Church that deals with the black magic and that. But no, I totally agree. I keep saying like you all like between Judaism, Christianity, and Islam, you all worship the same God. You're fighting over middle management. That is it. I even have a couple comics on it because like that hit me a few years ago. I'm like, Jesus Christ, we're fighting over who's Dwight in the situation here. Like,
Oh man.
yeah. Maybe I am an atheist. I don't know.
I'm sorry, but religion fighting over who is Dwight is one of the funniest things I've ever heard.
Yeah.
And it's also one of those things where it's like if you don't have a Dwight in your group, you're probably Dwight.
Exactly. The main character syndrome. And then speaking about God in general, and a lot of people have brought this up. This isn't an original thought of mine, but like, why would God be so focused on us loving him? It's like Georgina George in Mean Girls. Like, why would God care? Like, if you love him or not? It's such a man-made construct. I think that's what turns me off the most.
There's also the and I don't know if this differs from religion to religion, like in terms of like Christianity and Catholicism. But I remember in church, one of the preachers was saying, like, oh, when we die, we'll go to heaven and we'll spend eternity praising God. I'm like, that sounds boring as hell.
Right? We're there. Like, weren't we supposed to do our time here? Like, and now just the same? Is the bucket going to go around again? I hate tithings too.
Oh man.
Church can be a wonderful thing. It can be a great community. Like when we were in church and in a time of need, the people there came together for my family in ways that are unexplainable, just good people. It's when power and greed get involved, that's what ruins everything. It ruins everything.
I've said this on the show before, and I say it to people in it. You can basically break down all the problems in the world to the acronym MAP: money, arrogance, power.
Oh yeah. That's totally
90% of the time. That's all it is. It's usually one of the three things. And unfortunately, with some religions, I'm not gonna say all of them, but some religions, it's all three.
Oh yeah. I'll say it. Fuck it. That TikTok. I don't give a fuck. His name is Mike. It's the big three. It is Christianity, Judaism, and Islam. And it's not the religion itself. It's certain people in power that abuse people that are needing God. That's the worst part. Yes. They take advantage of those that really need that sense of community and faith, and they exploit it. And if there is a hell, those people belong in hell.
I agree.
And it's not all people that are in power or lead, because there's really good people out there. But yeah, it's more often than not, how many times do we hear about a church leader diddling a kid? Gandhi slept with underage girls.
Oh my God.
Maria Teresa abused people in hospitals.
Gandhi beat his wife. Like Gandhi, it was domestic violence. And yeah. Sometimes I hate, and it's when people go, well, it's not the messenger, it's the message. I'm like, I can't, like, or like, it's not the art, it's the art. It's not the artist, it's the art. I'm like, I have an issue. I personally cannot, I have issues separating the two. Like, I don't have any R. Kelly in my phone, and I don't have any Mystical in my phone, because both of them are convicted rapists. I'm okay. I'm okay.
Me and Hubs go about this a lot, because he will not watch anything with Woody Allen. Like, he straight up refuses. I knew his work before I knew his background, and there's a few films that I know he would love, and he just won't watch it. And I totally understand. But like on the Gandhi level, when you're preaching like holy purity, and you physically go against that yourself,
Yeah.
that it's just great, because then there's also Michael Jackson, and there's Martin Luther King. Like, now the CIA had a big deal to play with his marriage and propping it up, but that doesn't take away for what he fucking did, it's
You want to understand, like, the man cheated on his wife.
yeah.
I am vehemently against cheating. Now, I've had friends who have been cheated on and stayed in their marriage. If my wife cheated on me, I don't know if I would stay, but I may be more likely to forgive her than she would for me. For her, cheating is a deal breaker, period.
Yeah.
So in that sense, it's like, I can understand why someone goes, well, I still understand it because, like, he didn't do anything too flagrant. Now, for me, I think cheating is flagrant. That's just me. Do I understand the stuff he said was great? That's all true. And also, if you want to look up who wrote the "I Had a Dream" speech. I'm just gonna leave it at that.
Oh.
Just give it a Google. Everyone listening, give it a Google. Not saying he didn't write all of it or any of it, but just give it a Google. Look up the idea of Rosa Parks wasn't initially the person who was sitting down. It was actually a dark-skinned Black woman who was unwed and pregnant. But because
I did hear about that, because she wasn't a model, because she was a teen that wasn't married. And they're like, we can't have this as the face of the movement. It's PR. It feels awful that I don't remember her name.
there's a lot that goes into it. But
Yeah.
but again, like you said, it's all about publicity. It's not publicity. It's all you just said it too. My memory is trash. Marketing. It's all about marketing, like what works. And unfortunately, sometimes that's just it is what it is. And sometimes you need it to get the message across. And